like I said, the war on coal, is over in Trump's America. His Secretary of Energy, his name is Chris Wright, is Al Gore's worst nightmare. What we are seeing under the Trump administration is him delivering on his promise to drill, baby, drill. This administration only cares about affordable, reliable energy. Here's Chris Wright saying, coal's going nowhere, baby.
Look, coal's been essential to the United States' energy system for over 100 years. It's been the largest source of global electricity for nearly 100 years, and it will be for decades to come. So we need to be realistic about that. Now, with coal, are we going to see a renaissance in surging coal production in the United States? Not likely, but we're on a path to continually shrink the electricity we generate from coal. That's made electricity more expensive and our grid less stable. So I think the best we can hope for in the short term is to stop the closure of coal power plants. No one has won by that action.
Mr. Wright has announced that coal will remain the backbone of America's re-industrialisation. It's going absolutely nowhere. He even said that some of the plants that have been shut down will be reopened. Up to a quarter of US coal-fired power stations are due to be retired by 2040. Well, not anymore. Of course, this is a massive backflip from all the green policies that the Biden-Harris administration pushed for years, which really throttled the American economy and really limited America's companies there. What do you need if you want to be a manufacturer? You need power, cheap, reliable power, and lots of it. Well, says Chris Wright, reliable energy is the goal, and that's what we're delivering on.
The goal is just affordable, reliable, secure energy from wherever that comes from. Obviously, there's going to be roles in the long run for solar energy. There's places where it makes tons of sense, where the natural resources are there and the infrastructure is benefited by adding more solar to the grid. But I will say one thing for sure, we're not going to go down the road of Germany. You know, they spent $500 billion. They more than doubled their price of electricity. They actually shrunk the total amount of electricity the country produces by about 20%, and their industry is fleeing the country. That's the path the United States was starting to go down, but that's the wrong path.
Thank God for this 180, hey? These guys are promising to do the exact opposite of the Biden-Harris administration, even going so far as to say all that climate fear-mongering, climate change, global boiling nonsense. Do your research. None of it's true.
When you hear crazy stuff today, check it out, dig a little deeper. Hurricanes are not growing. That's in the IPCC report. Tornadoes are actually on the decline. Floods, droughts, all of these things you hear ceaselessly, they just simply aren't so. It isn't even controversial that they're not so. But media, politicians just continually abuse these facts.
What you wouldn't do to hear an Aussie politician, much less our energy secretary. Imagine if we had a Chris Bowen figure literally spitting facts like this. That's what Trump's picked in Chris Wright. This is the US energy secretary. Can't wait to see what he does over the next 4 years. Meanwhile, we're still stuck with Chris Bowen.
We don't even have to change the Chris bit. It's just the surname. just swap Bowen for Wright, and I think we're on a winner here.
Let's clone him.
I just keep having visions of, remember Scott Morrison walking into Parliament on that glorious day with a piece of coal saying, it's coal, it's not going to hurt you. Yes. How far we've fallen from those days. But, I mean, America were on track to close over the next 5 years 120 coal-fired power stations. And if they were going to commit to that course, of course, it's very difficult doing that to then say we want to be the world's leader in AI, because AI consumes enormous amounts of power. And they want to re-establish a manufacturing base, which they've been outsourcing to China for all of these years. So you can't have both, right? You can't have world leading in AI and lots of manufacturing if you don't have cheap, reliable power. And so Trump's made the decision, we want economic growth, we want productivity, we want prosperity, so we'll use coal. And of course, China in 2022 were building a brand new, 2 coal-fired power stations every week.
Of course.
And so Trump just understands if you want to compete, then you've got to scrap ideology, as Chris Wright explained. The ideology is bunk anyway, and get on with building a prosperous economy. And coal got us to here; it'll get us to the future.